What's up, Team Golfletica? Here's a little workout for you to do today that is all aimed at making your kettlebell work even better. And the best part of it is you actually don't need a kettlebell for this. We're going to spend quite a bit of time just working through a lot of the prep exercises that are going to set you up for success. We're going to make sure our core is activated. We're going to fire our glutes. We're going to work on some hip hinging mechanics and a few of the other principles that are all going to help you get better at working with kettlebells. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop down on the ground to all fours. We're going to make sure our spine is prepared for the work ahead of us. So let's get hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck those toes under for me. So it's an opportunity to get the feet stretching. We're going to go through just a few slow cat and cows here, going one vertebrae at a time, tucking your pelvis under, feeling each low vertebrae reach for the sky till all of a sudden the upper part does. Then your head drops down. And then we start at the pelvis again in reverse. Think of it like you're dumping a bucket of water forward towards the ground here, one vertebrae at a time, reaching towards the ground, gently gazing forward and reversing. So we're just going to go through this for about a minute here. These cat and cows are something we always like to start with as a check-in to see what does your spine feel like today. Definitely as you go about your week and your activities, the spine's going to change a little bit. So you might feel stuck in different areas. You might feel one side working a little bit more than the other. So it's always good to have an idea of exactly what's going on there, particularly when we work with kettlebells, since there is so much dynamic work going on and your spine is having to stabilize itself during that. So once we get through one more pass here of that cat and cow, we're going to go to half kneeling. So let's bring that right leg forward. And again, I always like to try and keep my toes tucked under. We definitely want to make sure our hands and our feet are innervated when we're working with kettlebells, especially since that kettlebell is going to be in your hand and your feet are so important in terms of driving power through the lower body for it. So want to make sure those toes and your feet are ready. So with this half kneeling position, I'm going to tuck my pelvis. If my left knee is down, I'm going to squeeze that glute really tight because I really need to work on opening that hip up. Kettlebell swings, dead cleans, all that when the hips are going into an extension, we want to make sure the hip is extending and we're not working into that low back. So we want to make sure this hip opens up. From here, we're going to go back to our spinal work. Reach your arms around, grab your shoulder blades. We're going to slowly flex that spine forward. Since my right leg's forward, I'm going to rotate to the right. When I can't go any further, I'm going to side bend right, really open up that left side. I'm going to look up tall, extend from my low back, bring my left shoulder towards my left butt cheek. I'm going to bring that side bend back into a rotation and back around to the front. We're going to do one more lap here. One thing to check with your flexion here is to make sure you're not breaking from your hips. I want to pull my spine down towards my hip. There's going to be a lot less motion there than you think, which is a pretty good rule of thumb in general, is that less is always more. Typically, our body is always going to try and steal some range of motion from other places. So now that we got two laps, let's switch sides. We'll get that toe tucked under on the other side, tuck the pelvis, squeeze that glute, wrap your arms around here, and we'll go into spinal cars on the other side. So once again, start at the top of your spine, pull and flex that spine down. Let's rotate to the left, side bend, reach up tall, extend, bring that right shoulder towards your right butt cheek, and then bring that rotation back around for one more lap. Maybe notice if you feel a difference from this side versus the other. I know my hip feels a little tighter on this side. And we're always making sure we're breathing while we do this. Awesome. Okay, so next one, we're going to come on down to our side. So there's an exercise we do with kettlebells called an arm bar. It's a phenomenal exercise for working shoulder stability and control, as well as your grip strength. We're going to mimic this now. So we're going to come on down to your back on the ground. So I'm going to make a tight fist with my left hand here, and I'm going to straighten my right leg out. So this is the setup. Normally I'd have a kettlebell in this hand. I'm going to reach my right arm above my head, and I'm going to extend it as far as I can. Now, if your shoulder's restricted, you can definitely bring this arm down and adjust wherever you need to. I'm going to push with my left leg to come over and let my head rest here. So this is your basic armbar setup. And what I'm going to actually do here is some reps. So I'm going to push back and I'm going to keep my leg up here at 90 degrees. So as I rotate, I'm going to punch the sky with my hand. You're going to feel a little bit of separation going on here. We're going to do a couple more reps. Reach with the leg, punch the sky with the ceiling. Good. And one more here. Really reach that hand towards the sky and just hold. You can even rotate that shoulder a little bit as we're in this position. All right, so let's switch sides. So same setup. We're gonna this time have right knee bent, left leg straight. Make that tight fist with your right hand. Put your left arm into a comfortable position. Go ahead, push yourself over into our arm bar. Good tight, tight fist. And then let's just rep it out a little bit, bringing that leg back to the start and rotating over. Again, if you need to make an adjustment with your hand here, I might just go like comfortable under my head like this or put a pillow here, depending on what you feel is best. You can even go right here with your arm and just go from this position. And do a couple more. Last one right here. Just hold it. Rotate that shoulder a little bit for me. And then go ahead, roll out of there. Okay, so now we're going to come up to a tall kneeling position. And we're going to work on creating a hip hinge. That hip hinge is super important to any kettlebell work. Hip hinge mean I'm hinging from my actual hip sockets, not from my back or trying to sit back into more of a squat position. We want to load your hips, your quads, your hammies. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to push my hips back into my hip hinge, making sure I can find my glutes. And then I'm going to come forward with a leg. I'm going to step it back, hinge, load, 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 step forward with the other leg. What's happening here when I step forward, I'm getting that nice hip extension. So again, load your hip, drive forward, push. Trying to put a little bit of speed on this. Load, 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 push. And we're gonna do a couple more on each side. Find your hips, drive forward. Let's get one more in. Awesome. Okay, so now we got hip hinge warmed up, we've got our spine warmed up, shoulders, we've got a lot of things working. So now let's activate a few things. This is a side plank series. For sure, if your shoulder doesn't like being in side plank, you could do all of these exercises just from that sideline position. We're going to choose to do this from a side plank from our knees. It is fairly difficult, so definitely want to make sure you can get through the entirety of it. So we're gonna, when we set up side plank, one thing I like to do is almost feel like my elbow is a little bit inside of my shoulder just because when you actually reach up, it's going to stack your joint. So if you start like this, we're going to end up in this weird position that's going to put some pressure in your shoulder. So we're going to put that elbow a little bit inside, find kind of like a feet, almost like a fetal position a little bit here. So I'm going to push my forearm into the ground. I'm going to lift those hips up. So we're going to start with feet separated, knee going up and down a clamshell for 10 reps here. We're just going to make sure we keep those hips on the high side while we're doing this. You're absolutely going to have some glute fatigue, so fair warning. We're going to go here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to let my hip and my shoulder turn towards the ground and come right back up for 10. This one's a little more challenging. You're definitely going to feel more into that hip socket here. It's also doing a good job of getting my shoulders warmed up while I'm at it, my lats, my rhomboids. And in true fashion here, I'm of course going to lose count. So we're going to do about 4 more here. There's 4, breathing out, 3, good, 2 more. Last one, come on up, reach your top leg out straight. Let's fire out 10 reps here, raising that top leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up and hold. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Okay. We're gonna give it about 30 seconds here before we do the other side. Inevitably, when we do side plank series like this, when you go to the second side, the fatigue's gonna layer on just a little quicker because that bottom hip was working so hard on the first side. So there's gonna definitely be some more fatigue present. So just kind of shift around, move around, whatever you feel like you need, and we'll get ready for this other side. And we're gonna make sure elbow, shoulder, right on top of each other so we have that nice alignment there and we protect your shoulder. So stack the knees, stack the hips. Let's bring those hips up. We're going to start feet separated, knee up and down in that clamshell again for 10 reps. I'll do my best not to lose count on you this time. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now turning towards the ground and coming back up. I can already feel my hip going here. Good, we're halfway. We got 5, 4, 3, 2. My glute is already burning on that bottom side. Let's reach that top leg out, fire out those 10 reps. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Up and hold. 3, 2, and drop. Okay. So we got all our bases covered. So that's some good prep work that's always going to make sure your body is ready to go for any of the kettlebell work we would have ahead of us. So next up, we're going to move into going back and forth between some planks and what we call a baby get up. The Turkish get up is a huge part of working with kettlebells. So the baby get up is a little different version of it that will help you learn some of the principles of that Turkish get up. So plank, we're going to find the plank. Plank mimics our top position of any clean or any swing we might be doing. So we're going to go hands under shoulders. We're going to walk our feet out. We're going to squeeze those glutes tight. We're going to tuck our pelvis under. And I'm going to try to feel like I'm opening my chest a little bit here and almost extending forward. I want a little bit of extension out of the upper part of that spine. I don't want to feel like I'm collapsed into my shoulders. You can even get the feeling of twisting the ground out here. And I'm even going to find my quad. So it's a little bit of like cueing overload here, but really you're trying to have tension from head to toe. We're going to keep holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, drop. So here comes the baby get up. We're going to go on your back. We're going to put our right hand to the sky and make a fist. I'm going to bring my legs off the ground here, hold my toes to my shins. I'm going to tap my heels together. Now, my goal here is I'm going to keep those elbows connected. I'm going to take my left arm and put it at roughly a 45-degree angle down. From this position, I'm going to roll to my forearm and punch the sky and come back down. So we're going to do about 5 reps on each side. Go slow and controlled here. I want to feel like my abdominals are working. There's also a bit of a bonus, like kind of glute work that'll happen here. Soft tissue glute work. You might feel it already. That's 5. Come on down. Let's switch our sides. So left arm is up, tight fist, heels together, right arm down 45 degrees. We go up, we come down with control. There's 2. There's 3. 4. You can probably hear my voice shaking a little bit already. And 5. Come on back down. Okay, little breather, and then we're going to do that again. We headed back into our plank and then back into our baby get up. Okay, a little shake out here. We'll get ready to plank it. We're going to go through that one more time. So hands under shoulders, walk your feet out, fire those quads and glutes, extend your chest forward, really try to feel length in that spine, maybe twist the ground out a little bit. We're looking for our abs. We're looking for a full body experience here in that plank. And then just settle in and breathe. Easy to forget about that breathing when we're doing these isometrics. Good, hang in there. We're going to stay here for 5, 4, Three, two, and one. Okay, we got one more round of those baby get-ups. So let's flip it back over. Legs up at 90 again, heels touching, right hand making that tight fist, left arm down. Here we go, rolling up. Let's go a little slower on the way back down this time. Really try to work that eccentric work. That's our loading phase. Working with kettlebells involves a lot of force absorption. So the better our core is in knowing how to absorb those forces, the safer it's going to be for us to work with those bells. Let's get one more here. Three, two, and one. Okay, other side. You can see I'm scooting back a little bit. Okay, left hand up, right arm down, heels together. Here we go. 5 reps on the other side, rolling on up, controlled on the way back down. And there's 3, 4, and last one. Awesome. Okay, so everything's prepped. Let's get off the ground now. We want to move a little bit and try and get those feet moving. So we're going to work into a little bit of balance here. We're going to do what we call a drop down. So you're going to reach your arms up, your heels up, and we're going to drop down to absorb forces, but we're going to land on one leg. So we're going to do 5 reps on each side, and we're going to pair that with what we call an extensive plyo. Extensive plyos are basically referring to, you might think of like plyometrics as like big jumps. So that's when we produce force, and extensive plyo is more about force absorption. So we're going to spend some time down here absorbing forces and then coming up, down absorbing forces and coming up. So first round, we're going to be up in this drop down, and we're going to drop and get our balance onto one leg. So here we go. We got 5 reps on each side. We're going to start with the right. So reach on up, get up on your toes, and drop. Come on back up, drop. There's 3, 4, and 5. Take it out. Good. Arms are back up, right into the other side. Drop down. 2, up, 3, 4, and last one, 5. All right, shake it out. We want to give it about 30 seconds or so. So now here comes that little extensive plyo with the jump for 5 reps. So depending on what your body's got available, the bottom of everyone's squat looks totally different. I'm okay with wherever that is for you and where you feel comfortable. Just make sure no pain, no pinching, none of that bad stuff. We don't like that. But chances are spending a little bit of time down in the bottom of the squat is actually going to be really good for opening it up. So we're going to do 5 reps here. Just follow along with me. We're down here at the bottom. We got 1, 2, up. 1, 2, we're up. 1, 2, up. 2 more. Reach. Last one. Okay, we shake it out. Not too bad, right? So when we do round 2 of those, if you would like to take the option to actually jump out of that low plyo, totally up to you. Just wanted to show you that initial variation just so you can kind of find your comfort level here. Okay, still giving it a little bit of rest. Okay, drop down to one leg again. Arms up, heels up. Maybe see if you can be a little faster on this one or a little lower. Let's go to the right leg. 3, 2, 1, drop. Good, back up and drop. Here's 3, 4, 5. Good, shake it out. Back up, ready for the other side. And going to the left. Drop. There's 2, 3, 4. Last one, 5. Good, shake it out. So we're going to take another kind of 10, 20 seconds here, and then we'll do that plyo one more time. So again, option to do what we did the first round of just coming up to your heels, or you can join me in doing a little bit of a jump with this, and you can kind of feel the rhythm out. Okay, find the bottom of that squat. Here we go. Bounce, bounce, jump, bounce. We got three more. Three, two, and one. Oh, awesome. So both those drills are great at aiming at force absorption. In other words, teaching my hips, my knees, everything to absorb the forces coming back down into us. So especially when you got that heavy kettlebell in your hands, you're going to have to do that over and over and over again. So we want to make sure that we tell our body how to do it, make it safe. Okay. See, heart rate's up. You're hopefully breathing a little bit like I am right now. And we're going to work into a little bit of strength now. So the other part of working with these kettlebells, when we get to doing a kettlebell swing, we're going to spend a lot of time down into this position. So think of this like a kettlebell swing is about horizontal force production. So it's more like a broad jump. It's less of like a squat. So we want to really work on, can we be in this position? So our first strength exercise, or I'm going to call it more of a strength endurance exercise, is we're actually going to be down in that position and we're going to reach our leg back and bring it back forward. So we're trying to maintain our angle while that leg reaches behind us. So it's definitely a little more in the isometric category, more in our strength endurance category. We're going to aim at doing the first round, 10 reps on each side. Second round, we're going to come down to 6 on each side. And last round, we're going to come down to 4 on each side. So we're going to do a little bit of a descending ladder. We're going to pair it with doing some retractions. So that just means our shoulder blades are going to be protracting and retracting. And you have the choice to do that from push-up position or from your plank position. So we're going to do 3 rounds and we're going to do the descending reps on both exercises. Okay. So let's find that nice hip hinge for our first one. Push your hips back, quads, hamstrings, glutes, spine in a nice position. Depending on your mobility, maybe you're going to be here, maybe you're going to be down here. We want to think of a lightning bolt posture though. So you'll see these angles just like a lightning rod. So come on down, we'll count them out together. All right, hips are back. Here we go. 1, 2, stay low. There's a low ceiling. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, check your posture. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They're definitely burning. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Whew, okay. Definitely got those quads and glutes burning. So, hands or forearms, your choice on whatever feels comfortable. I'm going to go with hands on this one just because being in that position from plank with your hands is going to mimic the top position of my kettlebell swing. So it's going to give me some good reinforcement. Now, if you've never done a shoulder blade retraction before, this could feel a little sticky. I would recommend just giving it a go, seeing if it's there. And you can always go from your knees. Sometimes just lessening the length of the lever might free that motion up for you. And then once you get comfortable with it, you can eventually work back out to your feet. You could also do this on an elevation if you have a couch or a bench available. So let's see if we can get 20 reps, you guys. Okay, feet out. Plank we had at the beginning. Squeeze your glutes. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we rest. So you'll notice one of the reasons I'm counting while I'm doing these is it makes me have to breathe. So easy to hold your breath when you're doing some of these exercises, and we want to make sure that we actually continue to breathe. So when you're working out on your own, don't be afraid to actually count those reps out loud, it's going to make you have to take a breath in. Okay, when I set this series up, I think I mentioned that we were going to do 6 reps on the next one. I lied. It's actually 7. Had my descending ladder reps wrong in my head here. So we're going to do 7 on each leg. So again, push your hips back, lightning bolt posture, stepping back 7 on each leg. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you're going to get lower this round. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Shake it out. We're back to our retractions. 14 total. Hands down, hands under shoulders, feet out. Find all those good quads, glutes, core muscles. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check in on your glutes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, a little breather. We're gonna hit one more round. So again, I said 4 when I introduced this. We're doing 5 on each side. 10 total for the retractions. Okay. Water if you need it. Shake it out. Definitely got a little bit of sweat going here. Amazing how you don't need a lot of equipment to feel that. Okay. 10 on each, 10 total. 5 on each side. Here we go. Push your hips back. Find that posture. Lengthen that spine. Let's see if we can maybe be the lowest we've been yet on this one. Reach it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we got our last round of retractions. Come on down. Hopefully, you're starting to feel those shoulder blades move a little bit. And like I said, less is more. If you're doing all this excessive motion and my head's moving a ton, chances are I'm recruiting and using some stuff I really don't want to use. I want to keep that focus purely on my shoulder blades. So hands on the ground, walk those feet out. Let's twist that ground out a little bit. 10 reps right here. Squeeze and out. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So that was our strength endurance portion of the workout. We have one item left to go because we got to get your heart rate up a little bit to finish this off. So we're going to hit a little Tabata. That means 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 8 rounds. We're going to have 2 exercises that we go back and forth between to have a contrast. And I'm giving you a choice. If jumping is not on the menu for you, you can just do a fast squat. So you'd just be pumping squats out quickly. You could also do a fast calf raise. Those would be 2 great alternatives to what we're going to do. If you feel comfortable jumping, we're going to do some intermittent jump squats or broad jumps. My preference is broad jump because that translates over to that kettlebell swing really nicely. I'm going to keep my distance a little bit short here just because I don't want to slip on the hardwood floors or the carpet, but we're going to do broad jump and we're going to pair it with a lateral bound. We want to make sure we have a contrastive movement here. So we're going to start in about 5 seconds. So it's 20 on, 10 off. I'll do my best not to breathe heavily into the microphone for you guys. Broad jump first. Ready, go. Forward, land, walk back. Anytime I'm doing that broad jump, I'm going to use my arms, reach back. I'm going to fire those hips. We're almost there. Absorb that landing. We got 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so it's only 10 seconds. And then we're going to that lateral bound. I want to see you stay low, absorb this. Ready, set, go. Land. It's like you're speed skating here. And if you can get a bigger stride than me, go for it. I'm just staying the width of my carpet here so that you don't see me sliding off screen and hurting myself. Should be a very Sean thing to do. So 3, 2, 1, shake it out. This 10 seconds is going to disappear quick. So I'll do the squat jump demo on this one. It's intermittent jumps, not continuous. Ready, go. We're up, land, up, land. Think about how you can use those arms to enhance your jump. 3, 2, rest. If you want to talk about exercise pet peeves, you're doing squat jumps with your arms coming down. Whew. All right, lateral bound, go. We're halfway there. 4, 3, 2, 1, shake it out. Ooh, we're halfway, you guys. I am breathing. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my broad jump. All right, ready, set, go. Always absorbing that landing, using those arms. 3, 2, 1, shake it out. Check your heart rate right now. We need it up. We're back to our lateral bound. We're almost in the home stretch here. Ready, go. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, rest. One round to go. So whatever's left in the tank, this is it. Empty it out. I'm gonna go back to those squat jumps. Ready, go. Up, absorb. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Last round, lateral bound. A little cool down, and you guys are out of here. Let's go. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and relax. Whew. All right, if that heart rate's up, walk it around for a second. Definitely don't sit down. Just gonna give you a second to get some water. Let that heart rate catch back up to you. And we're gonna make our way down to half kneeling. So just like we did in the beginning, toes tucked under, tuck your pelvis, squeeze that glute gently, and just slow your breathing down. Maybe even think about focusing your breath into this hip, into this side of your rib cage as you breathe in. Fill that up. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let everything slow down. Good. And then let's switch our sides. Toes stay tucked under. Squeeze that glute. Breathe in. Calming breath out. Nice work today, you guys. That was about 35 minutes of work, so not bad for a body weight workout that includes quite a bit of the prep work that is only going to set the stage for being more efficient, more effective, and safer with your kettlebell training. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a little sweat in today, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.